Hello guys, we're going to look at lab number 6, where we're going to automate our first web application. So the first thing we have to do is go to your documentation and go to the link, the blog link. Let's see the instructions for that. So the prerequisite here, it says we have to make sure we configure Maven installation. We have to go to Jenkins, manage Jenkins, global tool configuration. We can enter the Maven as Maven 3 as the name and enter the path for the Maven installation and uncheck install automatically. Okay, first thing we have to do is we have to log into our Jenkins. Okay, to log into your Jenkins, you just go to the IP address. Okay, you can get your IP address from your AWS account. Okay, just copy your IP address right here. Okay, then open a new tab, port 8080. That's where we configure Jenkins. Okay, and you log in, your username and your password. First thing you need to do is you go to manage Jenkins. Okay, and global tool configuration. All right, so you see here there's a setting already waiting for you to configure Maven. All right, so what you're gonna do is, okay, I think that's not the setting. This is the setting right here. All right, so you click on add Maven. Okay, it's gonna pop up. You type it here, Maven 3. Okay, you uncheck this box, and here you put the path for the Maven. All right, so just get the path from over here. This is the path. Copy that and you paste it right here. Okay, and then you save. Okay, that completes this part for the Maven configuration. The next thing we're going to look at is the step 2. Okay, we're going to install some plugins. There's a Sonar Scanner plugin, deploy to container, and then also there's Bitbucket. All right, so you just go to manage Jenkins. All right, manage plugins. All right, you click on available. All right, then you search for Sonar. Okay, this is your Sonar Scanner. You just select it, okay, and install without restart. All right, this is going to go ahead and install the Sonar Scanner. All right, so this is done. This is good. So we'll go to the next plugin, click on available. All right, and then we'll search for deploy to container. All right, this is it here. Okay, this deploy to container plugin, it helps us to deploy artifacts, okay, into web containers. In this case, we are going to be deploying our artifact into tomcat. Okay, but it pretty much works in any kind of container. All we have to do is just specify that. So we'll select this. Okay, install without restart. We're going to see it's once it's done. Okay, we'll go ahead for the next plugin. All right. Next plugin, we click on available. Next plugin is going to be Jacoco. Okay, it is a code coverage report. So you install without restart. And I think that would make it up for this part. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is, let's look at the next step. Okay, the next step is to create our first automate job. Okay, so the steps to do that is you click on the new item. All right, enter the name, my first automate job. It can be any name. All right, and here then you follow steps to set the configurations for everything. All right, so we just go that step by step. All right, first I'll go to dashboard. All right, next thing we'll do is new item. Okay, so it's going to be a freestyle job. All right, It's going to be a freestyle job, select freestyle job. And this is going to be, we're going to call this my first automate job. Okay, you can call this any name, it doesn't matter. Okay, as long as it's a freestyle job, that works. So click on OK. Now it gives us the different configuration. So the first part of the configuration we're going to configure is the source code management. All right, the source code management. So we're going to come down here to source code management. You're going to select Git. Okay, and then right here you're expected to put your Bitbucket URL. Okay, to your repository. To get that, you have to go to your Bitbucket account. Okay, Bitbucket account. This is my Bitbucket account. Okay, I'll just select this is my repository. Okay, just go into your repository. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to click on clone. All right, so when you click on clone, it populates the link, the Git link that you could use to connect from your Jenkins into the Git bucket, so that you can pull up our source code. Okay, the whole point of this is to be able to pull our code, all right, from Bitbucket. All right, so we're going to select HTTPS, okay, and we're going to just copy this. All right, now we will go back into our Jenkins, all right, and put that in here. Okay, and we take out this first part git clone so that we have only the HTTPS URL in this. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, okay, so as it is now, it will try to connect. If it doesn't get any connection, it's going to tell you, hey, there's something wrong here. Okay, it'll try to connect, and the reason is it needs credentials. Okay, it needs credentials. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create credentials for this section of segment of our job, so that our Jenkins can log into our Bitbuckets and pull the code down for us. Okay, so we're going to do add here, add Jenkins. All right, so here in username, you're going to put the username of your Bitbucket. If you don't know the username of your Bitbucket, all is very simple. Okay, just come into your Bitbucket account, click on your profile. Okay, go to personal settings. All right, go to personal settings, and you're going to find it on your account settings right here. So this is your username. All right, so I'm just going to pick up my username right here. Okay, and go over to put my username in here. All right, then I'm gonna put a password for my Bitbucket. Password for my Bitbucket, I'll just put it. You should know the password you created Bitbucket. Okay, so just put in your password of your Bitbucket account. Right, so that's the password. Then you give it a description so that you identify this credential because as we go further, the credential base will be increasing. Okay, so sometimes you can have similar credentials with similar names. It's always good to have a description. Okay, so I'll just describe this as Bitbucket so that I know that it's Bitbucket. Okay, this description can be anything, it's just a tag or a label. All right, so the next thing, once I click add, okay, you still see this red line. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is to click on, you have to select these credentials, okay, so that you can use this credentials to connect to your Bitbucket account. All right, so click on this, and let's just wait. Okay, I think I'm getting the wrong. Let me. So you see this red here. Okay, we're gonna come here and select credentials. Okay, I have a bunch of them. I'll just use the correct one. You see, when you put the correct credentials, this red goes away. This means it has connected to your Bitbucket and is able to pull your code right from Bitbucket. Okay, we're going to leave this setting as it is. Okay, because currently our Bitbucket we only have a master right here. Okay, we only have a master branch, so we'll leave it as a master branch. Okay. Then we'll go over back to the blog. All right. So we've pretty much done step 3. Okay. We're gonna move over to step. We're gonna move over to step 5. Okay. So the poll SEM. This will ensure that our build is done every 2 minutes. But I'm just gonna skip this. Set this if you want. I'll move over to step 6. So we're going to do our build, okay, to do our build step. So the next build step is we're going to configure our Maven build. So just go over to Jenkins, all right? So add build step, okay. So what you're going to select is you're going to select invoke top level Maven targets, all right? And then here you select Maven 3 that you set earlier on, okay? And then the goal will be clean. This will ensure a clean compilation of your code using Maven. All right, so you go ahead and click advanced, okay? Advanced, this, okay, this will tell Jenkins where to find the pump file. The pump.xml file is a file that contains all the configuration on all the settings required for Maven to adequately compile this code. Okay, so we'll just get the path for the pump file over here. This is the path for the pump file. All right. Just put it in here. Okay. And that's it for our build step. Okay. So after building the code, the next thing we want to do is to deploy this code. Okay. That's where we need the post build action. Okay. Or we may want to archive the code. Okay. Archiving the code involves saving the code, a copy of this build application on the Jenkins server. Okay, so we're just going to use the archive the artifacts. Okay, and here we're going to specify where we're going to put it, or as in what artifacts to look out for. Okay, so at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to come over to the blog and pull this. Okay, so this means it's going to get every WAR file, okay, that is created from the working directory and save it on the Jenkins server. Okay, so we're going to just do this, and that's it for archiving the artifact. Okay, so the next thing we'll add one more post build action. Okay, but this time it's going to be deploy to container. Okay, if you don't see this entry here, it means you haven't installed the plugin. So once you install the plugin, you're going to see the entry right here. So you click on the deploy to container. Okay, so here it's going to ask you, where do you want, what files do you want to deploy? Where do you want to deploy it? Okay, we're going to use this same entry right here. Okay, place it here, and then let's get full settings from. And then we're going to select Tomcat 8, okay, which is our server. And we'll select the credentials, which is the Tomcat username and the Tomcat password for password. And then we can use the local host. Since our Tomcat server is on the same server as our Jenkins, that's how we use local host here. If it's different, then you put the IP address of the Tomcat server, okay, and with the port, specifying the port. So it's gonna look like this at the end, okay? So what we're gonna do now is, let's come over here, all right? We're gonna add container, okay, and select Tomcat 8, All right. We're going to add a credential. We're going to create a new credentials for this. All right. So the username is going to be tomcat, right? And the password is going to be password. So you can set this username and password in your installation in your Jenkins when you're doing the tomcat installation, or you can also set it anytime. All right. If you go to, okay, let's look at this area. Now, if you go to this part of the blog in lab 2, okay, where we are installing tomcats, at this point, this is where we set that. So any value you put here in this file, this tomcat users.xml, okay, this becomes the password. Okay, so we use tomcat and password as a password. All right. So let's go over here. So I have the password set. Let me just do it again to be sure. All right. Then we'll have a description. I'm going to call it tomcat credentials. Click on add. Select the credential, tomcat credentials. Okay, then the next thing we need is we'll specify local host. Okay, because we have the tomcat server on the same server as Jenkins. Okay, so that's pretty for this. Okay, so we have this all set. All right, and everything looks good. So we'll go ahead and save. And now we're going to run this build. Okay, when you run the build, you know this, you're going to see something here. Okay, so we'll see the result of the build through the console output. So just click on this and just follow the build. Okay, so right now you see it's trying to build our code. All right. Build success, everything is a success. Okay. All right. Now, how do we check if this is accurate? Okay, we'll just go over to our tomcat server. All right, since the tomcat server is the same as Jenkins, okay, I'll just do the same, use the same IP. Paste it here. If your tomcat server is different from the Jenkins, you use the IP address of that. Okay, you just put the port number 8090. Enter. Sorry, 80. Sorry. This is the default page. Okay, you put a slash and then the name of the application. Our application is called My Web App. Enter. And then boom, this is my application. It's a little bit different from what you're saying, but I actually migrated the real application. All right. That'll be all for now. I'll see you guys later.